if you could say, what are the 3 top things you do to market a luxury listing? What are they?
Well, first of all, we have 1.5 seconds to capture somebody's attention online. So, if I'm differentiating myself from the other agents in my marketplace, they'll all say, well, we have a great photographer. A lot of us use the same photographer. And so I'll wrap it, I'll create a USP, which is I art direct the photographer, and then I'll wrap it in a story. So I'll say to the seller, everyone has a great photographer. They all have great cameras. Craig has a Nikon, and Lauren has a Canon, and she knows what every single button, readout, dial, lens, she knows every single thing in that camera, and she can make that camera sing. But you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Lauren and Craig have never sat in my conference room with a potential buyer of a multi-million-dollar property like yours, looking at listings on a flat screen, watching them go by, and seeing a buyer reject a photo of a house that you knew was perfect for them, but it was a dull, boring photo. It was a waterfront property with no water in the cover shot. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Lauren and Craig don't get to take a photograph of your house until I've looked through the lens of that camera to make sure it's going to capture somebody in the 1.5 seconds that we had to grab their attention online. People are looking for reasons to reject listings when they look at pictures online. The buyers of your house aren't here right now. They're outside of Boston, or they're elsewhere in the country or around the world. They are looking online. I will art direct to make sure your cover shot is compelling. We will obsess over that. In fact, we're going to take over 600 pictures of your home to get to the 30 that we're actually going to use for marketing purposes. So that's how we create a USP. Everyone takes pictures. We make the way we do pictures unique and different and more valuable than the way other people do because we art direct. And then we wrap it in the story of how Lauren and Craig take their pictures.
I love it. Oh, go ahead, Cheri.
What's the second thing? I think you asked for top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So one was in the photos. I like creating that USP around the photos. Did I miss the other 2?
We haven't got them yet. So we'll talk about copywriting. Same thing. What's the point of having really great photographs if you've got really bad copy? I'm amazed at some of the copy I see for luxury real estate, where there's bad grammar, bad punctuation, and like it or not, people judge you by your writing, and it's a turnoff. So what's the point of capturing somebody right away with great photography when you have crummy writing? So we talk about how I think of myself as a decent writer, but I still use an editor to polish your copy, make sure it's interesting and compelling and tells a story of your property. Then we talk about showing or demonstrating your property. We just don't show your property, we demonstrate your property. And here's the thing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I am present 90% of the time for the showing of your property. The higher you go in price range, the less showings you're going to have. It only makes sense, right? So every showing really needs to count. Aside from you, no one's going to know your property better than I do. And we demonstrate the property. That means in the summertime, if we need to, we show the property by boat. We make them a part of it. Or we put a boat on the property. We were selling a property for $13 million, and the beach was across the river. And the buyer, the wife of the buyer, was nervous about, well, I've never driven a boat. So we put a boat there, and we put it behind the wheel of the boat and said, turn the key, off you go. She had a smile this big to bought the house. So demonstrating the property is critically important. We listed a 9-acre island here one time for I forget, it was $9 million. And I knew who the buyers were. And I knew their agent. His name was also Jack, a different Jack. I said, Jack, you've got to get them over here. And they looked at it online. They looked at the tax maps. They looked at the Google Maps. And they said, oh, too many trees, too desolate, too this, too that. We don't want it. They wouldn't even come look at this property yet. I knew they were the right people for the property. And then one day on 4th of July weekend, the other Jack said, hey, they found the property they want to buy. Would you be willing to take them out on your boat to show them the property from the water as a favor to me? I'll pay for the gas. I said, don't even worry about paying for the gas. I'll take you out there. So I took them out there. I showed them the property they wanted to buy. And then I said, the tide has changed. We have to go home a different way. And so we went home a different way. And I took them to the island, and I showed them the island from the water, and they bought it. So those are great stories. We don't show property. We demonstrate the property. We immerse them in the lifestyle that comes along with the property. We do what it takes. We had another house that the agent couldn't sell. It had a water view, and the neighborhood association beach was down the road. It's too far to walk. And once you put somebody in a car to go to the beach, you lost them. So we rented a really cool golf cart, put a surfboard on the roof, and we drove the people down to the beach in a golf cart. Big smiles the whole way they bought the house. We immerse them in the lifestyle of the property. We don't just show property.